go, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk and another in my series of how to lose, just in case you were wondering how to lose a map. You have a burning desire to lose. I'm going to help you out here. I'm going to tell you exactly how you lose pretty much every map. This time it's Redshire. You know, this game is basically about hit point reduction. It's about positioning. And the way you win the game is you create an overmatch in a critical terrain area. And if you create an overmatch in a non-critical terrain area, you do it quickly and you move to that critical terrain, or you flank the enemy and you win from there. So, which basically negates the critical terrain. If you're fast enough, what I'm saying is if you're fast enough in a non-critical area and create an overmatch on a flank, then not sending enough to the critical terrain doesn't matter. The problem is in a pub match, that's very difficult to do, and it is more a random happenstance than an actual plan. So when you come up with these, I've got this great alternate strat for map blah blah blah. The problem with that is that's a low percentage play. So we're talking high percentage plays. On Redshire, the high percentage play is you're going to send your heavies over to the east side. You're going to win that, and then you're going to decide where to go. And you're not necessarily going to push, which is another problem. That's another video for another day. But you do need to win the east side. So when you log into a map, or when you spawn into a map and take a look at it with your tank, whatever tank it is you're running, you got to look at your tier position. You got to look at the map. You got to look at the situation. You need to take your tank to the critical terrain, or at least to a place where you can back up the critical terrain. You'll see that deployment-wise, we get only 3 tanks. We get this AMX, a Tiger 1, and the Suma. So we got a 9, an 8, and a 7. We've got a TD camping in the back, an HTC, and a JP. That's fine. That's a good support spot, but the problem with those guys is they're not useful unless the enemy pushes around those rocks. I'm going to take up this tree right here, trying to control the middle as best I can. This used to be a better spot on the old map. They've changed it so you can't no longer snipe. It's interesting to me where they decide to cut off sniping positions and then they decide to add them. Right? This was not a massively useful sniping position, but it was good for early SA. You could see them crossing over here as they go through this, and it was covered. But now look what they've done. They've made it to where you have to come out in the open, and anyway, you can't quite see it because of the ground. On other maps like Fisherman's Bay, we're going to go off into a random tangent here for a moment. On other maps like Fisherman's Bay, they've created this murder line on the middle of the map where you can move up and just murder guys trying to cross. I don't understand why they make these decisions, right? They cut this one that was a fun position, not terribly useful, pretty useful. They made it basically unusable for what it used to be great for, even though it wasn't amazing. And then they've created this murder line on another map that didn't have one. Unbelievable. All right, back to how to lose. How to lose on Redshire. Let's take a look at what's going on back here. Our 3 tanks are up there getting pummeled. They managed to kill one of their tanks, but oh my goodness, the enemy brought 5 tanks. And by the way, 2 of them are 2 of their tier 9s and a 357. Yep, there goes another one, and you can see how this one is going already. The JP has taken hits. That's a hard place to use. There's no cover right there. All he has is hold down action, plus with artillery. I'm shooting at random guys over there. Now I'm thinking, well, maybe I need to go try to help these guys, at least take a few more hit points off of them. Now, where's the rest of our guys? This is great. I shoot and miss, of course. Unknown how. Nope, that's not going to track. Why would it? Another bounce. 3 shots, 1 damaging shot. Fantastic. Coming over here, Tiger. But my friends are dying quickly. I'm able to get 2 shots. Now I've got to get out of here. And we're going to head off this way. All the tanks that went over to the west side, so some of you may have, as soon as I started talking about the critical terrain on this map, you may have told yourself, ah, Guido, you know what you're talking about. The castle's important. You got to get over. You win the castle. Well, it's not important. The castle should be watched. You clearly don't want somebody busting through and flanking, but the problem with the castle is it is a great big stalemate, even worse than the east side, because the castle is swept by fire from the middle much easier than the east is. East has a big hill between you. There are castle walls, but as far as pushing through there, you're going to get tore up. And now it's just basically me looking for a few more hit points right here, because this is all but over. Pershing's pushing in. Maybe he's just YOLOing, looking for his hit points. One of our tier 9s, the WT, sat in the very back corner. Basically useless the entire game. Now, it's a bummer that he's in here. The enemy had a Yag Tiger, or sorry, yeah, JT, which has armor and is able to push. And it's a bummer that he's in here, but he doesn't have armor. But the problem with that mentality is he's got to get his gun in the game, right? Even though he doesn't have much armor, he's got to figure out a way to be useful somehow. Getting into a corner and sitting there isn't useful. This is great. Watch this. He reloads. Whack. Whack. 3 hits, 4. Holy cow. That's not a very accurate gun, and he's on the move. He absolutely just waylays me. Oh, there's another one. Hits me again. I'm going to come over here. I'm thinking, all right, at least I'll get some arty kills. Yeah, this will be good. Nope. Reloaded arty. Shotguns me in the face. Down we go. So, there you go. How to lose Redshire. If you don't bring enough tanks to the critical terrain, you get an overmatch. 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose the game. If you were thinking, hey, I'm going to go to this other flank because I'm trying to avoid their big tier tanks, you got to push through what you find there if you have an overmatch. You got to push through. If you're a top tier tank and you're headed to a corner like the WT, that's not useful. What you are relying on is the enemy pushing through and giving you shots. That's a passive strat, and you can see what the passive strat did for us. The enemy came to fight on the east. They wiped us out. They brought more tanks. They held us in the other spots. One of our best guns sat in a corner, basically doing not much of anything. And it's not hard to see why we lost right here. It's not hard to see why we lost. Every time you lose, take a look at it. Usually it's not hard to see. Sometimes it's an unlucky break. Artillery one-shots some important tank, or somebody overturns their tank, or it's just a well-fought battle and it got down to low hit point guys anyway. But you'll see a lot of games end up being like this, where once the snowball starts rolling downhill, it's very difficult to stop. And the snowball in this game didn't start rolling downhill randomly. It started rolling, started rolling downhill because people went to terrible spots. We just didn't have enough guys in the critical terrain. All right, there you go. There's how to lose Redshire. Just in case you want to know, head over to the castle and sit there with your top tier tank. That should be good. Later.